Hello, everybody. Welcome to the class. If you are currently watching through my website, if you wouldn't mind just clicking on the video, that will take you to YouTube, and then go ahead and comment in the comment section your name so I know who is in my class today. Thank you, Lynn Roy, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. We'll get started in about 5 minutes. In the meantime, if you would grab a mat or something to work out on, maybe some yoga blocks, water bottle. Those are probably the most important things. For some of the exercises we do today, if you want to modify them to make them a little easier, you can use a chair. So maybe have a chair on hand as well. And again, if you are tuning in through the website, please go ahead and click on that link on the video itself, and then just comment in the comment section on YouTube your name so I know who is in my class today. Thank you, Jared, for joining. Long distance. All right, we got 3. Thanks, Mom, for joining. We'll give it a few more minutes, maybe 3 or 4 more minutes. Again, if you are just tuning in, please go ahead and click on the video to go to YouTube. Comment in the comment section your name so I know who is participating today. How's everyone doing today? I'll make this announcement one more time. If you are tuning in through my website, please go ahead and click on the video. That will take you to YouTube, and that's important because then I can see how many people are in my class. And then if you wouldn't mind just commenting your name in the comment section so I know specifically who's joining me today. Sweet. Brian Wolf is here. Right on. Brian, we will be doing beast pose later, so it's fate that you're here. All right, looks like we had a few more people join in. Again, if you can just comment your name so I know who's participating today, that would be great. I'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes. Thank you, everyone, so far who's joined. Really appreciate it. Hi, Rachel. Welcome. Thank you for joining. All right, final announcement. If you are watching through my website, please click on the video. That will take you to YouTube. Then comment in the comment section your name so I know that you're here. AJ, thank you for being the perfect example. I think you get the ultimate gold star, you and my mom, for perfect attendance. For everyone else, there'll be extra credit assignments you can do if you want to bring your grade up at the end of the class. All right, sweet. Let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, let's do it. All right, so we are going to get started with our mobility work. Most of this will be familiar to a lot of you since you've participated in the class before. So let's go ahead and start with our ankle mobility. Remember, when we do mobility work, a few important things. We want to go nice and slow. We want to make each movement as big as possible. And we want to avoid moving any other joints in the body, right? We want to isolate the specific joint that we're working with, in this case, the ankle. So let's go ahead and hug our right leg into our chest. Start with nice, slow circles of the ankle. We want each rotation to take maybe 6 to 10 seconds or so. Good, and let's reverse it. Good. Switch legs. Hug the left leg in towards the chest. Nice slow circles. Good. And switch directions. And good. All right. We're going to open the legs pretty wide here. Feet flex back towards the knees. We're going to have our arms behind us, lifting our chest so that our spine is nice and straight. We're going to actively open the knees away from each other. And then keeping that activation, we're going to internally rotate the right leg. Okay, we want to make sure that both sit bones, both sides of our hip, stay on the floor. And that other leg, the left leg, is opening away. So counter force, right? This one's internally rotating. This one is externally rotating. Good. And then the right will open up again. Now we internally rotate the left leg. Think of opening the right leg. Good. Switch. And switch. Good, switch. And switch. Let's do 2 more on each leg. Last 2. And good. All right, let's get into an all fours position. Make sure that your shoulders are stacking over your wrists. Make sure that your hips are stacking over your knees, okay? We're gonna go ahead and do our hip circles. I'll have you watch just once because this movement's a little bit more complicated than some of the other joints that we work with. I'm gonna start by putting a block here on my sacrum. This is gonna keep me honest. So if I start moving my spine instead of my hip, that block's gonna fall off, all right? So that's the test. So the movement's gonna look like this. I'll demonstrate with my right hip. You're gonna bring your right knee in towards your chest slightly. You're gonna open it out to the side. Think of a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. You're gonna kick the leg up and back, and then you're gonna bring the knee through center. Okay, knee in towards the chest, open out to the side, up and back, through center. Okay, I'll do it at another angle. Maybe this will help too. Let's try doing these together. Right leg first. Knee in towards the chest, open out to the side, kick up and back, through center. Make sure you're engaging your core as you do this, keeping everything in your body nice and tight. The more stable you are in the other parts of your body, the more mobile you'll be able to be in your hip. Good. Let's do one more, and then we will reverse the directions. So to reverse it, we are going to kick up and back to start. You're going to bring the hip out to the side, then through center. Up and back, open out to the side, through center. All right. Let's do 2 or 3 rotations in that reverse direction. Thank you, Uncle David, for joining in. Hopefully your hike last week was enjoyable. Thank you, Ree and Stephanie, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Go ahead and finish one more reverse rotation on that hip, and then let's go ahead and switch to the other hip. All right, left leg. Knee in towards chest, open out to the side, kick up and back. Ooh, I wasn't honest there. My block is slipping through center. In towards the chest, open out to the side, up and back, through center. Good. 1 or 2 more in this direction. And then let's reverse it. Kick up and back, open out to the side, back to center. Up and back, out to the side, through center. Good. Finish with 1 or 2 more of those, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. All right, moving right along. This next exercise is for mobilizing the thoracic spine, which is basically your spine from below the neck, right where the clavicle starts here, down to pretty much the base of the rib cage, okay? One of the functions of this part of the spine is it has a lot of mobility. It can rotate, it can extend, it can flex. We're gonna work on the rotation part. So you're gonna sit on your heels, arms are gonna be in front of you like this, okay? Right hand's gonna go behind the neck. You're gonna bring your right elbow to touch the inside of your left elbow. Then you're gonna rotate and you're gonna look towards the back wall. Ooh, that was a nice spine crack. Good, and repeat. Elbow to elbow, twist. Good, let's do 2 more. And switch sides. Right hand on the floor, left hand behind the head, elbow to elbow, and twist. Good, 2 more. And good. All right, shake that out. We're gonna move on up now into the shoulders and the scapula. We're gonna go ahead and start with our scapula. Scapula are like 2 triangular shaped bones on the back here. They have a lot of different movements they can do. They can protract where they slide forward around the rib cage. They retract where they slide together. They elevate, they depress, and they rotate. Cool. So a lot of different movements there. They're also the anchor for the shoulder joint. So if you have shoulder issues, oftentimes strengthening the scapula, strengthening those anchors will help mitigate and kind of remedy some of the maybe the discomfort or imbalance that you have in the shoulder. So the exercise we're going to be on all fours. We're going to start by working with scapular protraction and retraction. So protraction is where they slide forward, retraction is where they squeeze together. So we're going to be on all fours. You're going to keep the spine in one piece. You're going to drop it in between the shoulder blades, keeping the arms straight. So I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together. All right. And then I'm going to press the floor away. Try to press the floor away as hard as you can, lifting the spine up. Cool? All right, then the spine in between the shoulder blades, squeeze them together, and then press the floor away as hard as you can. Good. Retract. Protract. Retract. Protract. Nice. If it feels good there, let's do maybe 5 more. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can walk your knees back. Think of like a modified push-up position and try doing it there. If you want a real challenge, try going into a plank position. Good. Maybe 2 more and then we'll stop. And good. Nice. Shake that out. Shake that out. All right. Moving right along. Going to work with the shoulder joint now. So So for this, let's be on our knees like this. If that's uncomfortable, you can also do this standing, not a problem. Movement's going to look like this. We're going to start with the right arm. We're going to externally rotate, so opening the palm away from the body. We're going to cut that arm across the body. I'm going to bring the bicep up by the ear. Palm is still facing in towards my face. Now from here at this top position, I'm going to rotate the palm away from my body, opening the shoulder. I'm going to reach back, continue to rotate, keep rotating. And so at the end, my palm should be facing away from my body, okay? Fully internally rotated shoulder. And then we're going to reverse. You're going to lead with the thumb, lifting up. Once you can't go any further, you're going to allow that shoulder to unwind. Bicep comes back up by the ear, palm framing the face. Arm cuts across the body, back to neutral. Okay? Make sure as you go up, especially at this part where you rotate and open the hand away from the body, don't let the spine twist, okay? Keep that chest facing forward, reach back. Good. Let's go ahead and do 2 or 3 rotations together. Good. One more rotation. And let's switch arms. Left arm. Palm rotates open away from the body. Arm cuts across the body. Bicep up by the ear. Internally rotate the shoulder, bringing the palm away from the face. Reach back. Continue to rotate. Reverse. Lead with the thumb. Allow the shoulder to unwind. Bicep up by the ear. Arm across the body. Good. 1 or 2 more on this side. Good. Finish the rotation you're on. Take a quick breather, catch your breath, drink some water, ask a question. If you have questions at any point during the class, feel free to just use that comment section there, and I'll hopefully respond to it. There's a little bit of a delay, so I may answer a few minutes after you needed the answer, but I'll answer it. Ooh, hello, Megan. Hello, AJ. Welcome. Man, this is a family reunion. I love it. All right, we are going to get into the core section of the class now. I'm going to put the mobility aside. We will be doing our dead bugs, which if you've been in this class before, you will have done dead bugs. And for some of you like Ree, even if you haven't been in this class before, you will have done dead bugs with me before. So this is one of my favorite core exercises. Teaches you how to use your core as an anchor so that you can have free movement in your shoulders and in your hips. So we're going to be on our backs, knees bent to start, arms pointing straight up in the air. You're going to suck your belly button down and in. That's going to tuck your pelvis under slightly, okay? Flattening the lumbar spine on the floor. Movement looks like this. You're going to open shoulders and hips, Hands and feet will hover an inch from the floor, and then you're going to bring everything back to center. Okay? Now, the one thing that you want to avoid is as you open, don't let your back arch, okay? We don't want any space under here. We want that lumbar spine flat on the floor. The core needs to stay engaged, okay? If that version is good for you, go ahead and do 15 to 20 of those nice and slow. If you want to modify it, if you need to make it easier, hands on the floor, just do the hips. Practice keeping that core engaged. Okay, if you want to make it harder, extend the legs at the bottom. The lower the feet are to the floor, the harder it will be. Okay, so maybe try it 45 degrees. And back. Or try an inch from the floor. And then back together. All right, whatever version you're going to do, 15 to 20. Make sure to inhale as you open, exhale, close. Breathe, smile, have fun. Good. Finish up with maybe one or two more, and then we'll move on to the next variation. All right, so for dead bug number 2, it will be a contralateral exercise, which means we are working with opposite limbs. So the setup is the same, knees bent, arms pointing straight up. Now we use opposite limbs. So my right arm will go with my left leg, back to center, left arm, right leg, back to center. Make sure if I'm moving my right arm and my left leg, my other limbs are not moving at all, okay? No, none of this, okay? If you want, you can do jazz hands with that. That's about as much movement as I want in that limb, okay? Let's go for 16 to 20 on your own count. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Good. Finish up with maybe 2 to 4 more, and then we'll move on. It's a great opportunity. Take a sip of water, catch your breath. Say hi to your kitty if you have one. All right. Next few exercises are going to be a little bit more dynamic. We're going to try to build a little bit of heat, a little bit of energy. So, number 1, toe touches. This will be familiar to a lot of you. You're going to be on your back. Knees can be slightly bent. Like the name of the exercise implies, we're reaching up and touching our toes. If that's too hard, don't worry. Just slide your hands along your shins. Go as high as you can. Okay, so we want the engagement to start here down at the lower abdomen, travel up our core so we can touch our toes and then back down. Okay, exhale up, inhale down. Make sure to control the way down just as much as the way up. Let's go for 20. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. All right. Feet flat on the floor. You should just be able to reach down and touch your heels with your hands. We're going to go ahead and do some hip bridges. All right. So for hip bridge, keep the torso in one piece, core engaged. Squeeze the glutes, drive your hips up into the air. It should be one long line from your shoulders to your knees. Okay. Imagine the Winter Olympics. You've got a skier coming down. Whoosh, perfect slope to jump off of. All right. Then back down. Bridge up, back down. If that feels good, go ahead and do 20 to 25 of those on your own count. If you want more of a challenge, bridge up, stabilize the hips, extend one leg, put it back down, extend the other leg, put it back down, hips to the floor. Okay, that's version 2. Hips up, extend 1, extend 2, down. Version 3, up on one leg, then switch, down. Up on one leg, switch, down. Okay, choose your version, 20 to 25. Version 4 you do with no feet on the floor. Very difficult. I'll let you know one of my kryptonites is that I often forget to count when I exercise. Not the best quality to have in a personal trainer. But that being said, hopefully you've kept count because I didn't. I think we've got probably 6 more. Good. Finish up with 1 or 2 more and then rest. Nice. Shake it out. Shake it out. Good. This next one, it's called, I guess you'd call it a hip raise or a, I don't know. I don't really have a name for this one yet. This is something I learned in the circus conditioning world. It's essentially the same movement as a crunch, except instead of lifting the torso, we are lifting the hips off the floor. Okay. We usually have a lot more weight in our hips and our legs. So it basically takes the crunch and turns it up a notch. So it's going to look like this. You're going to be on your back again, arms by your side. You're going to squeeze your core so much that your hips pop off the floor, okay? And then slowly lower back down, okay? Squeeze your core, tuck your hips, slowly lower back down. That's version 1. Version 2, you're going to squeeze your hips, try to get your legs up a little bit higher, and then down, okay? Squeeze, slow lower. Don't try to go into like a full candle, right? We haven't warmed up our neck enough to do that, right? Version 1, knees bent, squeeze, tuck. Version 2, straight legs, up, slow lower. Let's do like 12 to 15. Good. 2 or 3 more. Good. Once you've finished, go ahead, extend the legs, extend the arms, stretch your body out. We're going to take like a minute break just to catch our breath, let our muscles recover a little bit, and then we will move on. If you have any questions, this is a great time to ask. Ree, I love that you make your dance students do dead bugs. That's great. Another fun exercise for dancers. Ree, this will be for you. You may do this already, but you basically have them hold like a boat pose and then try to play around with extending different limbs in different directions and balancing, right? It's that ability to reach and maintain stable at the same time, right? Nice, Megan. Doing scapula push-ups in pole class. I like that. Yeah, any sort of exercise or activity that involves pulling, you got to strengthen and work on the scapula. All right. 30 more seconds of rest, and then we'll move on to the next few exercises. Megan, I will say hi to Jazz for you. All right. So the next 2 exercises, we are going to work a little bit on the legs in combination with some balance and core work. So the first one we're going to do a lunge with a thoracic twist. So it's going to be a back lunge, and let's just go over what I'm looking for in a proper lunge. So start by stepping back with the right foot. I'm still keeping most of my weight in my left leg, okay? Thinking of my hips as an elevator, I'm going to drop them straight down, okay? I want my torso to be at the same angle as my lower leg, okay? Right, same angle. If you drew 2 lines, they'd be parallel, all right? So that's the motion for lunge, stepping back, lower, back up. Don't step too far back, right? That starts getting a little weird. That puts a lot of load into the hip. Okay, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet behind you, lower, back up. Okay, so that's the lunge, and then we're gonna add a twist if you want. Step back, lower, arms together, twist to one side, twist to the other side, back up. Notice as I twist that I'm not opening my hips at all, right? My hips are staying perfectly stable. That twist is coming from my spine. Back up, switch sides, lower, twist, twist, back up. If this is feeling a little difficult for you, go ahead and just lower maybe halfway, twist, twist, back up. Okay? Or another way to modify this is to just be kneeling, practice the twist. Okay, let's go for 8 on each side, so that's 16 total. Starting with the right leg. Good, a few more, and then we'll move on. Good, last one or two. And done. Nice. All right. This next exercise is a single leg deadlift. I'm going to give you a few different options for this and a few different ways to modify it if it feels difficult. This is a balance exercise. So the full version, you're going to be, we'll start with the left leg, slight bend in the left leg. I'm going to shoot my right leg back, right, reaching to the back wall with that heel. And I'm going to reach down, my right arm, try to touch my left toes. Then I'm going to bring everything back up to center at the same time. Okay? From this bottom position, I like to use the imagery of a pair of scissors, right? It's cutting. Everything comes back to neutral at the same time. Okay? So that's version one, reaching down, back up, switching sides, back up. Make sure to keep a soft bend in your standing leg. Two ways we can modify this. First way, this will make it a little bit easier. So you can use a chair, reach forward, touch the chair, back up, okay? Reach forward, touch the chair, back up. A way to make it harder is we'll add something at the end of the motion. So you'll reach forward, and then instead of coming back to neutral, you're going to bring that knee up and touch it to opposite elbow. All right, so that's the version to make it harder. Let's go for 6 to 8 on each leg. Demonstrating version 1. Good. Version 2, if you want to make it a little easier, touching a chair. Back up. And version 3, if you want to make it harder. Finish up with 1 or 2 more on each leg, and then we will move on. Nice. Good work. Very good work. All right, we've got 2 more exercises to do today before we cool down. Go ahead and take a second, though. Take a drink of water. Let's see, Ree asked, when you are doing the last crunch move, how do you prevent stress in your shoulders and chest? I think if you're feeling it in your shoulders and chest, try not to elevate your hips too much and really focus on squeezing the core first and driving your knees towards your chest, right? In reality, you don't need to lift your hips that far off the ground to feel the engagement. Even this much should be enough, right? And at that point, I'd say 80% of your spine is still on the floor supporting you. Okay, so that would be the modification. Just tuck a little bit. And really start by engaging the core as hard as you can to allow that lift to happen, as opposed to like pressing into the floor with your arms to try to lift your hips up, right? Core, squeeze, 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 that tucks the hips, and then down. Hopefully that answers it. All right. We always end the class with some isometric work. Isometrics as a style of exercise or a type of exercise where your body's under tension, but you're not really moving your body that much. So a plank would be the prime example of an isometric exercise. We'll do 2 different isometric exercises, then we'll call it a day, cool down, stretch a little bit. So number 1, this is beast pose. This is for Brian Wolf, the beast. Before we do that, actually, let's warm up our wrists a little bit, just because we'll be on our hands. So let's go ahead and interlace our fingers together. Left hand pointing down. Point the fingers towards the ground. Flip them up. Fingers toward the ground. Flip. Fingers toward the ground. Flip. And then make it nice and smooth. Reverse directions, fingers up, then rotate down, fingers up, rotate down. Good, shake them out. All right, beast pose. You're gonna be on all fours. Shoulders stacking over wrists. Knees are going to be slightly in front of your hips, okay? So not directly underneath, slightly tucked in. To start, we want to protract the shoulder blade, so I'm pressing the floor away, right? We practiced that at the beginning. Press the floor away. I'm going to suck my belly button up and in. I'm going to tuck my toes under, and then I'm just going to lift my knees an inch off the floor and hold there. That's beast pose. All right, so we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Make sure to not let your spine sag. Keep that press through the shoulder blades. Just holding for 30 seconds, and then we'll come down, and then we'll add some fun things to this. Make sure to breathe, right? When we're holding body tension, we need to continue to get oxygen into our body. So pretend you're taking a walk down the street. Take some nice deep breaths. As deep as you can. Good, and down. Nice. Relax, shake out your wrists if you need to. All right, so we're gonna add some fun things you can play around with in beast pose. If what we just did felt like it was enough for you, just do that. No need to do anything else. Also, if that was too much, you can also modify this, use a chair, right? Maybe hold it here instead, okay? So the things we're going to play around with lifting different limbs. So we'll start by maybe try to lift a foot an inch off the floor. Maybe try to lift the other foot. Notice as I do this that my hips aren't shifting side to side to compensate. All right? Try the feet. Maybe try a hand. Maybe try a hand and a foot. All right, let's go for 30 seconds, play around, or just stick with the normal version, or don't do it at all, your choice. All right, and starting now. Ten seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Whew. Nice. Nice. Very good. All right, we are at the final exercise. Congratulations. You have almost made it. The finish line is in sight. So this next exercise we're going to do is the counter pose to beast pose. It's called crab pose. Both of these come from a movement pedagogy called animal flow, which if you're into kind of dynamic, fun, isometric poses, let me know. I can give you more of them. So for crab pose, our arms are going to be behind us like this. We want to make sure that our fingers are pointing away from our body. If that's too much, have your fingers pointing directly out to the side. Just whatever you do, we don't want your fingers pointing forward. Okay? So either out to the side, or if you have the flexibility, pointing straight back. First step is we want to drive our shoulders down. Okay, so we're depressing our scapula, pressing the floor away, and then we're just going to lift our hips an inch off the floor. Okay, tuck the chin slightly and hold. All right, so that's the first version. If this is hard on your wrists, try using some blocks, right? If that's too hard, use a chair. Practice driving those shoulders down. Okay? This can often be a difficult move because we don't, or most of us don't practice a lot of shoulder extension. We live our lives here in front. So this is really good for opening up that chest, strengthening the antagonist muscles to the ones that we often overuse. All right, so up, we're gonna hold this for 30 seconds, whatever version you want. Then I'll show you some modifications to have fun with. This is a fun pose that I like to do if I'm like watching TV and a commercial break comes on. I'll get on the floor, hold this for the first commercial, then do beast pose for the next commercial, then get some snacks during the last commercial, sit on the couch, watch some TV, do the same thing. All right, 10 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, shake that out. All right, if you're feeling up to it, last modification for this pose. Same thing as beast pose. You're gonna bridge up and then try lifting a foot. Maybe the other foot. If you're feeling adventurous, try to lift a hand. Try to lift the other hand. Maybe lift a hand and a foot. Maybe touch the foot. The most important thing is that we're constantly driving that shoulder down towards the floor, okay? We don't want our shoulders up by our ears. All right, so let's try that. 30 seconds, play around. If you're doing a modified version with your hands on the chair, just try doing the feet. Good, 10 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, done. Oh, nice, give yourself a pat on the back. Good work, good work. Take a sip of water. Let's go ahead and start cooling down a little bit. Let's get onto all fours. Spread the knees wide, bring the feet together, and then sit your hips back onto your heels. Bring your arms out in front for a nice child's pose. Yeah, Megan said that last pose is a bit hard on the elbows. It can be, yeah, especially if it's hyperextended a little bit. What I recommend is start by turning the fingers out to the side. That can help kind of mitigate some of the tension through the elbow. If that's still too much, maybe try it with on a chair. right? You can even have a little bend in the elbows there. Good. Let's come back up onto all fours. Walk your feet behind you a little bit further. Bring your stomach to the floor. Lift your chest, come up onto your forearms. Nice baby cobra pose. All right. Well, thank you very much. That is the class for today. Really appreciate you all tuning in. Let's see if I can get everyone who is here. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, David. Thank you, Ree and Stephanie. Thank you, Megan and the other AJ. Who am I missing? Thank you, Mom. Can't forget Mom. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming today. As most of you know, this class is donation based. So if you have some funds to donate, that is greatly appreciated. You can do that through my website. There's a donate button on the live page as well as the homepage. Anything is appreciated. If you can't donate, don't worry about it. Tell some friends, spread the love. Yeah, I really appreciate you all being here. This class moving forward every Saturday at 1 p.m. Please come back. Monday nights at 7 p.m. I do a yoga and meditation class. This is a pretty easy class. If you are new to yoga or new to meditation or new to both, this class is perfect for you. Please join. It's a lot of fun. Great way to start the week. Yeah. Thank you so much. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that. That helps. Yeah, I'll stick around for the next 3-4 minutes or so. If anyone has questions about any of the exercises we did today or want some tips or tricks on different workouts, let me know. I'm here. Well, thank you, Brian. I would appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, feel free to share my link. Spread the word. Well, thank you, Rachel. I didn't say Rachel before, I think. Thank you, Rachel, for joining. Thank you, Angelique. Thank you, David. Here for any questions if anyone has any. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks again, Brian. All right, if there are no questions, I will go ahead and log off. Thank you everyone for joining today. Really appreciate it.